She's known around the globe, an amazing performer, singer, songwriter, guys. Without any further ado, give it up for Mishell Ivon.
Oh my gosh, what a glowing introduction. I hope I live up to it, Tribe. I hope I do. I do. But
It's
thank
such
you.
a pleasure. It's such a pleasure. Before we got started, I literally said, I'm such a fan. So please, if I start to sound nervous, just know I'm like geeking right now because
Oh my gosh, you are ridiculous. No, don't be nervous. We'll be nervous together.
yay, let's do this.
Yes.
So tell me, you woke up this morning and what was the first thing that you did?
The first thing that I did this morning was I got on my Peloton. Well, I get up, brush my teeth, and then I do a Peloton thing. Peloton and simultaneously what I did, because it was a very productive Peloton set.
Okay.
It was very productive because I have a show tomorrow. So I was putting together a set list while rehearsing the songs. Nice. And putting together the set list and then setting that up on my iPad while Pelotoning.
Come on.
And singing at the same time to get these songs in my ear. That's what I was doing this morning.
Talk about preparation. First thing in the morning, we checking emails, but we're going to get on that Peloton, get the body right, and the vocals stay warm. Okay. Exactly. I love it. What do you consider, how would you describe your music? I'll just say from what I've heard, it's a vibe. It's such a vibe. It's such, you can tell that it's a lot of thought put into your music. From the lyrics to the instrumentation, everything. Let's talk about, how do you describe your sound?
I think that's always been very difficult for me to put a tag on the music because, you know, we like to put things in these boxes and I like to call my music just genre blind. But if I had to tag it, if I had to put a face to it, it's very 80s feel good pop vibes. It's but with a message, because there's always just, you know, I sing, the words that I say is really how I talk. It's really what I'm thinking. So you just get like these little bits and pieces that are in my thought, like just walkway. Just as like as they are happening, this is what you're listening to. And I always try to just tie it to that nostalgic feel-good sound with this little bit of modern. Does that make sense?
Everything makes sense. Everything makes sense because when I heard Ghost.
Oh yeah, Ghost.
Which you just newly released. Let me not forget to mention that. Oh my God. You're a ghost of my past, but y'all, your writing is out of this world. Thank you.
Thank you for
much
love for that.
Much love. Let's talk about how do you create your music? Like, is it a mood or is it storytelling? How do you create your music?
It just really depends. It depends on how each song starts different. I get hired for a lot of projects to write songs, add top line. And the way I start with these songs, is I put them on in my studio. I never listen to them. When I get them, I will skim through it really fast just to see if I like the vibe, if it's a yay or nay. If it's a yay, then I will not listen to it until I hit the studio. And then I just let things happen. Sometimes I will have a photograph just in front of me that I look at and pick things out of that photograph and start building the song. Sometimes I just start humming absolute gibberish and then words just start forming. Or I will hear somebody say something and I have a line that is in my head and then I will build a song around that. It's just very strange. My process, there is no set process.
Oh my goodness. I think that's what it takes to really be an artist is sometimes you just have to just go with the flow.
Yeah, you have to.
And I can appreciate that. Huh?
Yeah, it has to be real. It has to be authentic. That's what's important to me. It has to, like, it's coming from here, you know?
Yes. I would love to play some of your music real quick, but I don't want to get flagged. So don't worry about it, y'all. You're gonna hear it here right here on Iconix Radio. So let's kind of back up a little bit, and now let's talk about what was it like for you growing up? Because I know you're not in the United States, but you back and forth. Like, I call you an alchemist. Because you be all over the place, girl. Let's talk about it. So let's talk about your background. What was it like for you growing up and everything like that, please?
Okay, so where my background is, my parents are from two different countries. My dad is an American, my mom is German. My dad met my mother in Germany. He was in the military. He met my mother and then decided, hey, I guess we're staying here, because my mom was like, I don't want to go to the States. So I mainly grew up in Germany, but we traveled a lot, and then studied in England, then went to the States for a while again. So I just a child of the world. I was, influenced by a lot of things around me. I was just lucky to have parents that exposed me to just a myriad of color, just color.
I love it. Your music definitely reflects that as well. Your very first instrument, what was the first instrument you were actually drawn to as a child?
Gosh, drawn to? Yeah. I don't know if it was drawn to. I know the first thing that was placed into my hand when I was 3 was the recorder. I started playing the recorder at like 3. Then at 4 was already on the flute. Had a special curved flute so you could reach it, because when you have such little short arms, you can't get to this long flute. But I had a special curved one that I could play until, I grew to the size that you can play a regular one. So, and I played that forever. But, my parents picked that instrument because it was easy to move with, because we moved a lot. I wish I would have started playing piano super early. I just wish, because I think it's just one of those melody instruments that when you're writing songs and you have a flow, you can just flow through it. I picture myself flowing through the piano. I do not flow through the piano. I picture myself doing these. Right. Like flowing through the flute. Yeah. Andre 3000, we need to do an album.
Listen, I was just about to say, Andre is your guy right about now. He broke the record. We was like, Andre dropping an album, let's get it. Okay, this is good. Turn that on in the morning when I sip my little tea. Let's go. I love it.
It's a vibe. It is a vibe. When it came out, everybody was doing these memes. Everybody was doing all this craziness. And I was like, let me see. And I was like, Andre grew. He just grew as an artist. And I respect that he's out there experimenting and doing his thing. So shout out to you, Andre, because I know you're listening to Iconix Radio.
Oh, yes, he's definitely on here. And not only that, you heard that to the world, Andre. We're gonna need a little collaboration soon. Because that was my next question. Who are some artists that you would like to collaborate? Top 3. We got Andre in the top 3. Who else you got?
Andre is great. Yes, Jon Batiste.
Ooh.
An absolute legend to me. I respect his journey. I respect him. There are so many great artists. Like for me, collaboration is key to just moving forward.
It is.
Because you're constantly learning, because somebody's process is completely different from your own. So really, like the past year and a half, last year, my goal was the year of collaboration. So I released a collaboration, I believe, really almost every single month of last year. Wow. It was my goal to just really work with people, write with different people, enhance my style. Now that has grown into, or has traveled into, this year as well. And I'm just like, now that I've been doing it, I don't want to stop. I just want to continue drawing and expanding and just getting other people's light into my life.
Listen, I think that that's something that's kind of missing, the collaboration of artists, different creatives coming together. You may see it, but I'm talking about independent artists consistently. Right. Not to mention, let's be real clear.
Okay.
Being a part of the Recording Academy, you also get a chance to meet other artists and creatives that are behind the scenes a lot of the times, and create even bigger projects. Let's talk about the journey of getting to the Recording Academy. Class of 2023, stand up.
Oh,
music.
gosh, yes.
Let's go.
It was bananas. It was really bananas to me. It was on my 5-year goal.
Yes,
list.
Come on,
and I made, but it was like, check this out. So it was on my 5-year goal list. I had no idea how I was going to do it because I'm sitting in Germany. I am not around anybody that is in the academy. Fast forward, I put this on my list, and then I get recommended from fans of Jimmy Century. They're based in Vegas. Great project, okay? I get recommended from them, and then I have one more, and I had absolutely no idea who I was going to get it from. There was a couple of people that I just, was writing and saying, hey, maybe listen to my music if you're into it, blah, blah, blah. But you know how it is. It's very hard, especially if you're not connected to anyone, and they might not know what it is that you're really doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just wasn't in that circle at all. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. And then on my birthday, like right when the deadline was,
yes,
to be recommended, on my birthday, I get an email that says, for your birthday, I'm going to recommend you to the Academy from Ralph and Soul, from the New York chapter, just absolutely out of the blue.
What?
And it was just like, I see your passion. I see you're behind your music. I see this. I like your sound. And I mean, yeah, you get recommended, but you still get vetted and all of this other stuff. And it was just bizarre because it happened within that first year of me putting it out there. So I'm just saying, people, put stuff out to the universe. If you want it, put it out there. Boom.
Boom. Thank you and good night. No, listen, I think number one, when I go to your Instagram, when I met you, my husband, Mr.Iconix, is a voting member of the Recording Academy and an amazing producer with Iconix Radio. And we got a chance to connect, and we saw you, and we kind of like passed each other. And then we passed it, and then before I knew it, you were like, hey, what's going on? How are you? Who are you? Who are you? What's your name? Where are you from? I was like, give me a hug. Let's do this, girl. And it's just been amazing ever since. I think that what artists need to understand is that's what it takes. Consistency. And not only just consistency, let your light shine around the world.
Let your light shine. But let me add this, let others' light shine as well. Okay, and you have a lot of people that try to dim lights because they think it's going to make their chances brighter. But it's actually, you're just dimming your own. So if you see that somebody's doing something that you like doing, see how they're doing it, just get into their head, because you'll figure out how to do it for yourself in your own way. Okay, if you're just open your mind, open your eyes. That's what I want to say. I wish I would have. If I would have known that at 20, it would have been just maybe a bit easier. I would have been easier on myself, like the pressure that you put on yourself, because when you realize you are running your own race, you're not running with anyone else. You are running in this race by yourself.
So true.
It just opens your mind on a new level, and you're able to work different, and you're able to process differently. That's what it is for me anyway.
Yes, I totally agree. Speaking of that, when you look at some of the music that you listened to growing up, for some of the young people out there that are listening, and some of the OGs that are listening, when you're able to take music, for me, that I've heard, you gave me a little SOS band, you gave me a little funk, you gave me a little disco, you gave me some vocals, you delivered, child. Listen, girl. Talk about keeping music alive, real music alive, when you're talking about funk, when you're talking about the bass, when you're talking about the keytar, I heard all of that. You make me so excited.
Yeah, it's all in there.
Let's
Yeah,
go.
it's so important. And I'm so glad you mentioned SOS Band. I absolutely love them. I love that whole era. I love SOS Band. I love just disco and funk, like everything from Prince funk to cameo funk, like the really just like Curtis Mayfield. It's like everything is in there. And because my dad listens to this, and so that's what we listen to. I just remember listening to this on records. My dad would play vinyls on the weekend, and I would be dancing to them in the living room. And it's just like, I used to hate it sometimes.
What?
I used to be embarrassed when my dad would come pick me up from school and he would be listening to, just crazy, funky music like James Brown.
Come on. Come on, Pops. I'm here for it.
But now I'm like, what? Like, this is all classic goodness. You do have to keep it alive. And I try to keep it alive, like with my live projects as well. Like, I have another project called Disco Supreme that is like a 9-piece band. I have that with some friends and with horns and everything in there. Very, very funky, mixing old school, new school things. So it's important. I don't think it'll ever go away. I think that there are just phases.
I think what's very important for you is that you're like, for me right now, you're like the face of that era right now, because your music is so good. It's really, really, I was like, Ghost is hidden. But then you was like, hold on, let me bring it back on some smooth. So how do you kind of find yourself breaking your style of music with like the old school, bringing it to the new, with a new age sound,
bringing in new elements?
Yeah, how do you maneuver through that? Like,
that's a good question. I think it's as chaotic as my songwriting style, because I have naturally, when I'm like starting on a song, you have just naturally like your database of music that you've always listened to. So you have these Prince things, and you have these, I think you can hear when I sing that I listen to a lot of Michael Jackson, for example, right? I like the harmonies, I like the layerings, I like all of this, which he actually got from America, the group America. But I really love that. So that's a sound that's kind of old school, but then you bring in these modern elements, just like musically. I think it always has to do a little bit with the beat.
Yes.
But the beat and the bass, though still somewhat true to a little bit of old school funk, but there's a little new school in there as well. But I think my voice is very nostalgic, honestly, unless I have to consciously change it for another project.
Thank you. And I do you think that kind of being, as I would call you, a global artist, do you think that there's a lot more advantages by being able to, have different musicians that come from different backgrounds that are bringing so many different styles together, collabing with American musicians as well as in Germany? I mean, do you see that there's a more of a
totally
benefit for you?
No, totally. Even just with these different producers from all over the place. For example, funk. I do a lot of funk, but it's so interesting what people consider funk in different parts of the world. So what someone considers funk in the States, like when I think of funk,
yes,
I think like Bootsy. Okay, I think like Bootsy Collins. I think like that type. That to me is like funk.
Yes. Oh.
And then you have boogie funk, which I absolutely love, which is that 80s like Shalimar going, kind of pop R&B, and then you have like a disco funk, which they love in France. Okay. In France, they love that combination with disco and funk. In Italy, they love something completely different, but it just has a little bit of that beat. I was completely, because I have a lot of pop and lockers that do videos to my music.
Nice.
And I was so surprised that like in Italy or in Asia, there's a huge crowd that absolutely loves funky stuff, but they go about it differently as well. Completely, like Japanese R&B, you have to check it out. Like, I'm telling you, check it out immediately. We'll be done with this interview. Listen to Japanese R&B because it's a complete vibe.
Listen, I think when you start to mesh different cultures together, real music never dies. Old school music never dies. It just continues to be repeated, recycled, but you've kept it so authentic.
Yeah, authentic.
You did, yes, you have. Thank you.
So no, thank you for just hearing that. I mean, I just don't like, you always have the fear when you do something with a little bit of old school that people are like, because some of the stuff that I do, I mean, literally could maybe be from that time.
Literally, honey, listen. I was like, hold on, do I need to put that old school, please? Drop the top. Let's just ride. Let's just
it's hard to break into, I'm just going to say maybe mainstream with just that very specific type of music. Yeah. But then, like, you know, you can mesh and kind of move into mainstream with new disco and stuff like that. But my heart will always be just I really do believe in funk. Yeah.
Yes, I love it. I love it. Are there any, well, no, let's back up and let's talk a little bit about your team, because what people don't understand is, as an independent artist, as an artist, especially that moves around globally as yourself, you got to have some people around that's helping you do this, right? Let's talk about your team. Who's on the team with Mishell?
Oh my gosh. I mean, my number one team member is my other half, which you guys is as well, Johannes. Like, he's my number one team member. He's anywhere that he can go with me, he will be there with me.
Right there.
Right. And then, I mean, there's a core band that I do a lot of stuff with, but sometimes that outfit changes as well. So I will be working on a project or doing a project where I show up and I will have never worked with those musicians before, and we meet on stage. Okay?
Don't you like that? Don't you love that?
Sometimes.
Mishell, I got you. Yeah, it's like,
sometimes I like
what you're gonna get. You never know what you're gonna get.
Right. It depends. And I mean, right. And I mean, it's everything from like people that design some of the things that I wear, whatever. It's just, I have people that I work with, yes, but I like to switch it up as well. So solidly 100% on the team is my other half, honestly.
It's like, everybody else, listen, I'll call you later. But right, I love it. I love it. I think that it's so important, because my husband as well, 12 years of working together, 10 years together, it takes time. As an artist, y'all, you just can't get with an artist. You have to understand our lives, our minds, and then, and everything else that comes along with that. Okay.
Right. Yes. Yeah, and I love how you guys make that work, and you guys do it beautifully. Like, you guys just have like a very solid aura around you, and I love that. I do, because I mean, my other half, he's not really an artist. He's my biggest supporter, and he helps, you know, with business things and whatever. But he's not into the arts. He doesn't, you know, do anything in that realm. And I have been with other artists. I think we talked about it, you know.
Yeah.
It was
just don't work.
It wasn't good. It was in a constant, you know, competition with each other. So I don't know how singers are together. Like, two people I don't know how it works. Like,
you know, I think this is very important for people to understand, that you have to literally find the person that works with you, not works for you, because anybody can work for you, right? And that's when people start to compromise and settle. You have to find someone that works with you. It's like, okay, maybe you don't want to get up. Okay, I'm cooking breakfast this morning, or we're going to order Uber Eats. Like, how we doing? You know what I mean? You have
it's a team. It's a team. And you need that support, because sometimes as an artist, you just really need someone to be that wind beneath your wings, as corny as it sounds, because you have these phases where you are just like, why am I doing this to myself? And then there are phases where you're just like, I can't see myself doing anything else.
Come on.
Yeah, I couldn't. I've tried, like not long.
You know, and then we sit at night, we go, I think I'm crazy. They're like, no, babe, you're just dreaming. You're following your dreams.
Right. Yeah, that's really the only way. I mean, like I just said, I've tried doing other things, and people are like, what are you doing here? You don't belong here. You should not be doing anything else because you do not work otherwise in this world. Like, it just doesn't work.
You know, I think this is the perfect time to talk about this because I'm gonna drop it right on you. Now, guys, we literally 2023 was in the middle of her 5-year plan. So now I just want to know, the people want to know what's in tune for your next 5 years. What's going on?
Oh my gosh. I always say this.
Yes.
Okay. This might just be the easy way out of a question. Okay. It's a question that's hard. And I know I'm going somewhere.
Okay.
I don't know where.
Okay.
I'm just going to go where the wind carries me because it always carries me to the right spot. I trust in the universe, and I'm just going to continue putting out what I'm putting out. Yes. And doing what I do. And I hope that some people will like it. And if they don't, I don't care because I'm just going to continue doing what I do. Right. It's fun for me. It's just happy.
I know that you're releasing a lot of music right now, and it's all amazing. What's coming up in the next 3 months?
Oh my gosh, you guys, I have something coming out every single month of this year.
Yes.
Right, and I have 2 coming out in May.
Okay.
2. The next song coming out is Luminous. It's called Luminous. I'll tell you that. And it's something that's very poppy.
Okay.
I wrote this track and I wasn't sure if I liked where it was going. And I sent it off and the producer was like, immediately yes. And it took me a minute. But now as I listen to it, I'm like, this is good.
We're dropping it. It's done. We're releasing it. Put it out.
I was like, this is good. Yeah, it sounds cool. Very different from Ghost or from, Chicago or, anything that I've done lately.
Yes.
But I think that's the beauty, just switching it up. I want people to know I can do a lot of things.
Yes, I love that. So that's what's coming new. To any of the listeners that are out there, what words of advice would you like to give them?
Okay, it's really simple, guys. Always be your authentic self because that is how you will sell yourself the best. Trying to be something that you think other people want you to be is only going to lay rocks in your path and make your life difficult. The more I just let go and let people see who I was, and that's also in writing, the way you present yourself, your style, everything. The more authentic it is, the more people will buy what you're selling because you're selling yourself in a good way, in the good selling yourself way.
Therefore, I got you. Okay.
Oh my God. Okay. Interview. I feel like I'm just like, am I talking too much? I don't know.
No, absolutely. Okay. Thank you. No, thank you for everything that you're sharing. Number one, because you're living exactly what you write in your home, in your heart. You're living proof. Like, she keep receipts. It's in black and white. Like,
boom, boom, boom.
And that's the beauty of life. You have to put it out there. So thank you for that. So listeners, pen and pad, write down your goals. Go for it. Mishell.
Exactly. You have nothing to lose. You don't want to sit there and like 10 years, but like, if I only would have tried. And everybody has a different way. Just because somebody else did it one way, don't hate on that person for making their way. Find your own way because that's your way. That's just what it is.
Mishell, we're going to get ready to play a quick little game.
Okay.
But before we do that, where can people find you, find your music, and support you?
Okay, so Mishell Ivon, Mishell Ivon. You can find me on all streaming services. my Instagram at Evemoon, EVEMOON, and everything else like Facebook, if you're still using that, Twitter, all of that, you'll find me with Mishell Ivon. I'm there. I'm like the only one. I think I'm the only Mishell Ivon.
I think you are too, because it is definitely stand out. The queen of funk is here. Hello, listen.
Yes.
I love it.
I was gonna say something. I was gonna tell someone to move over, but then I was like, no, I'm not putting that out there just in case she ever crosses my path.
Yes. Just add you onto the list.
I love you, Shaka.
Well, really quick, Ivon, let's get this game wrapped up because I know you're ready. I know you're going to win this, okay?
I don't know because I feel pressure now. I don't think I am. I think I'm going to lose. I'm going to.
You got this, girl. Okay, we only have 3 simple questions.
Okay.
Who sung the song, "Look, I Don't Dance Now, I Make Money Moves"?
Oh my God, wait. Oh my God.
Was it Cardi B, Whitney Houston, or Beyonce?
Cardi B.
Come on now, listen, you better get ready.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I'm like hearing the line exactly in my head.
Okay. You used to call me on my cell phone late night when I need your love. Was it Drake? Was it Jay-Z?
It was Drake. It was Drake.
Drake, I need you to know, we rolling with you. We love you, Drake.
Why am I like seeing these videos play in my head? Like
that's how you know it's a classic.
All right.
Okay, last one. Here we go.
Okay.
With my mind on my money and my money on my mind.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. Snoop Dogg, was that Nate Dogg, or was that Suge Knight?
Okay, wait.
I know my money on my mind.
It's Snoop.
It's Snoop. Come on, listen.
Okay. I had to picture the video. Hold on, I had to see it. Do you see when I was like looking? I was
crossing my fingers. I was like, come on, Mishell, I'm rooting for you. As a woman in music, I just want to say thank you so much for representing women from around the world, globally, musically. Thank you for keeping real music alive. And this won't be your last time because this is your new home. We are jamming and banging Mishell right here.
Love that. Love that. So thank you for having me. You're beautiful. You're beautiful. And hello to Iconix, Mr.Iconix. Like, I thought he was going to make an appearance. I thought, you know, he might pop in at some point. But it's okay. We'll do that next time.
Yes, he's running around somewhere. We should let him know. Mishell Ivon, before we get ready to go, is there any last thing that you would like to say before we go?
I just want to say that I had a great time and I'm happy to be one of the artists that has played on Iconix Radio. I think you guys are great. I felt at home. I felt super comfortable. It was a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for joining us. And thank you so much for being an amazing artist, an amazing woman in music. Guys, without any further ado, give it up for my good friend around the globe, recording artist, the one and only class of 2023 Recording Academy Vote member, Mishell Ivon.
Thank you.